Hey guys, welcome back to another video by Fully Informed Trade, or Fitrade for short, knowledge for everyone. My name is Alex Cho, and today I'm just going to go ahead and review gold and silver, talk about the gold and silver mining companies. So yeah, there's a lot of information to go over, and I hope you guys like it. First of all, on the nightly, US dollar index has broken the bottom trend line. Very key point here. That means that gold and silver should be going up on this. Now, we have confirmed right below the gold, we've confirmed right below this US dollar index trend line. That means that the US dollar index is most likely going to give back a lot of the gains it has had ever since 12 p.m. onwards. Now, because of that, I anticipate silver to go even higher, and we're noticing it off this trend line that it is breaking back and it's ripping back into the $40.40 range. Now, judging by this, I anticipate this downtrend will most likely continue, go down, touch the 200-day moving average, touch it a little while, and then probably continue going below that. Now, even though we have a difference in language, the FOMC, FOMC, this and that, I still think that we still got some juice left in silver. Another thing that I do want to point out is that silver and gold, they have a lot of hype built into them. A lot of people are just looking for these short-term pullbacks as a bargain hunting opportunity. So because of that, I do think that silver and gold are still relatively, it will still hold on to their targets. I still think that silver could touch $50, and I still think gold could go into the $1,500 range. Now, that being said, I take this pullback as a buying opportunity. And another thing is that the main reason why you saw crude oil have an impact is that crude oil just suddenly fell, dollar index suddenly risen, and of course silver was did have a pullback. And again, it's not too major, it's just minor. I wouldn't take it too seriously. But again, a pullback is a pullback, but it's a healthy pullback. It's not, it's not too severe. We've still held on to the $40 range, which is very good, because if we broke below $40, I'd be telling a different story. I'd be basically playing a different flute right now. But again, we held on to $40, which is very good. And since we have, I think that we'll be able to continue this upwards trend. Minor pullback, yes, but I still think we can go higher. Also, gold. Gold too. I mean, yes, it's having a minor pullback because, if you guys notice, the dollar index has edged up a little bit. But again, we'll probably see it edge up a little bit and then it continue going lower. See it's edging up a little bit again. But again, right below this trend line, you got 30 minutes worth of action right below it. This candlestick, not too big of a deal. I don't think it's going to have much of a major impact. As far as the gold spot is concerned, gold spot is pulling back a little from the 200-day moving average. Very easy short scalp opportunity right there. But again, every single time you look at a 200-day moving average being touched, you short it. Take the small scalps. They're scalps. They're not long-term positions. And then you anticipate it to continue breaking above it. Now, you see, even in the past, you touch it, you pull back, and then you continue to go above. And I've seen this happen quite a few times in the gold and silver market. And again, dollar index is finding some strength, gold and silver finding some weakness, and all of that. On top of that, they are both touching that 200-day moving average and having some trouble breaking it. But again, you'll probably see a pullback, and then it'll continue breaking. It'll keep on going above it. And don't short on the second touch. Right? This is just for future reference. Whenever you see any commodity stock touch the 200-day daily average, all right, or the intraday 5-10 minute chart. All right. Now, I'm going to go ahead and review new gold. I think new gold will bounce off this 20-day moving average. I think it's just going to touch it, bounce off of it. And again, gold and silver, I think that they're going to be able to earn back some of whatever they lost on turnaround Tuesday. And even though stocks are going to be negative, I'm kind of neutral to I'm a little neutral to positive on new gold again. And The main reason being is that new gold is, pretty cheap at 11 bucks. It's touching the 20-day moving average. And if you guys go ahead and put in some Bollinger Bands, yeah, I'm going to throw in some Bollinger Bands. I typically don't do this. But again, 20-day moving average is basically where you find a lot of support in the past. And then it goes back and touches the upper edges of the Bollinger Band. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take off the Bollinger Band. 20-day moving average is important. And again, if you touch it, you'll probably see a bounce right back off of it, and it'll go back into the upper ring and retest some previous areas of resistance, one of them being $11 and $11.85. Alright, next, silver wheaton. Silver wheaton did have a pretty major pullback. It hasn't touched the 20-day moving average yet, but again, I still think it's positive enough. If you guys see the dollar index continue to go lower even after this quick bounce, it's not too major again. I still think that the dollar index will continue going lower again. You see that pullback, slight pullback on that candlestick. You saw that engulfing pattern reduce down, and you saw a tail stick out. That's pretty much a pullback. And again, you see the tick pull back again. All right, now I wish I could record this to you guys live, but right now, by the time it reaches you, you'll probably see a different looking chart. But again, I still anticipate US dollar index to continue going lower. New gold will probably bounce off of that, as well as the silver spot and gold spot gaining back whatever they have lost on the market session right through here. And they have a lot to make up. I mean, silver and gold, just to get back to break even for just for the GLD to trade flat, they would have, gold and silver would have to break 1462. Okay, so that's what gold would have to break. What would silver have to break? Well, silver would basically have to break. Well, silver wouldn't really have to break anything because it has already broken it. So silver has already broken its close at around $40 and give or take $40.10. Yippee for that. $40.16. It's already at $40.35. So we can already see the silver market, or SLV, having a pretty positive day tomorrow. Gold, it has some room to make, it has to make up a lot at around 1462. I think it will eventually break right above that trend line. Now, if we go ahead and examine silver wheaton, like I'm mentioning, I'm pretty positive on silver wheaton, pretty positive on new gold, and I'm pretty positive on Pan American silver off of this trend line right here. It's way below the 20 and 50-day moving average, so we can't use that for reference, but we could use the previous area of resistance for reference. And if you guys notice the 5-day chart, I think this area, this previous area of resistance, will now become support, and it will hold that support and continue going higher off of it. Now, I'm only bullish on silver and gold stocks and silver and gold in general for tomorrow's session. But stocks in general, I think they're probably going to have a 1 to 1.5% pullback outside of gold and silver. Crude oil stocks might get a slight bounce, but I'm not too certain on that. European markets are relatively weak. Asian markets are relatively weak. Silver and gold is probably going to be strong. Now the dollar index is probably going to weaken a little bit. So again, I have to be relatively negative, even if the dollar index continues going lower, because again, we have Asian stocks negative, European stocks negative. Investors' psyche tends to be tends to be more negative when foreign markets are negative. So the only area I see any strength is basically silver and gold. And silver and gold, the GLD and SLV is preferred on tomorrow's trading session. However, if you guys want to take on more risk, Pan American silver, silver wheaton, and new gold wouldn't be a bad idea. They've had a huge hit, but I think they'll recover. They'll recover a bit, good enough for you guys to hold on to maybe for a couple hours and then get rid of. And if you guys are long-term investors and you guys are trying to buy back into it so that you guys can, dollar cost average, not a bad idea to do it tomorrow because prices are a bit cheaper and gold and silver are recovering over the early morning session, very early morning session at that. 200-day moving average touch, 200-day moving average pullback, and I do anticipate a pierce of that 200-day moving average. Silver has already pierced the 200-day moving average, and if you guys are looking at a 10-minute chart, again, you know, 10-minute chart we've already pierced and held above the moving averages. It's only on the 5-minute that we have. Whoa, that's weird. No, it's the 200-day moving average. Yeah, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. The 200-day moving average on the 10-minute chart is way above here. It's way up here. All right, but at least for the 5-minute chart, if we can hold above it for at least a full 5-minute, that's going to be very good. 10-minute, very important. We're going to see more resistance up in that 10-minute area. Same thing here. 5-minute, as long as we can hold above it, great. 10-minute, much more higher. We're going to break this area later on in the future. Anyway, hope this information helps you guys out throughout the night. Take care, folks, and I will go ahead and see you guys next time. If you guys want to use the same trading software, check out the link below, and be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're interested in this stuff. Take care.